I got a werewolf in me. I got a werewolf in me. When the moon comes out at night, oh baby, I'm gonna give you a full ride. Craziest thing you ever did see. Oh, I got a werewolf in me. Oh boy, I got a werewolf in me. That's my Randy Newman impression. It is not a hit at parties. I do a Shakira impression too. It's pretty good. I know this is very random, but oh, baby, when you talk like that, you make the woman go mad. Reading the signs of my body. I'm on tonight and my hips don't lie. I'm sun is high. The answer is no. I don't know what I'm doing either.
Can I give all these people the finger?
Well, hello and welcome back to Booze Reviews, where I, Aunt Boo, drink some booze and I review movies. I'm going to say that one more time. And I'm going to slow it down because I don't think anyone reads the warning video. Just to clear up any confusion about what happens here. If you've never visited my channel before, hi. I'm your old Aunt Boo. My nephew called me Aunt Boo when he was really little and it was really cute, so it stuck. And I think it's cute. And I curse, like a lot, because I want to, and it feels good. And I drink booze because I can. I'm an adult! And I review movies. When it stops being fun, I think I'll stop doing it, but for now it's fun. I mean, my kids are in bed, maybe, and I'm having a little drinky poo, and ain't nothing wrong with that. I said it before, I'll say it again, they're just movies. It's not like I'm performing heart surgery up here. Any asshole can turn on his camera and have a stupid YouTube channel. That being said, if you like this content, please like and subscribe. I'm retracting the clause now. I'm bringing it back in, bringing it full circle. Today's booze is White Claw. How do you like that transition, huh? White Claw hard seltzer, and I got a peach flavored one. White Claw kind of tastes like something, but it also kind of tastes like nothing. It's for like skinny white girls who do yoga a lot. And that's fine. I'm one of those things. The fuck? So yeah, not my favorite. If you're the kind of person who doesn't mind eating a donut, like you're not gonna beat yourself up for eating a donut, if you identify with the fat guy in this movie, then you are not gonna like White Claw. Not for you. Just saying. And I can say fat, that's our word. Taking it back. Today's movie is Teen Wolf. This movie came out in 1985. It stars Michael J. Fox, of course it does. He's so cute. James Hampton as the world's best dad. Jerry Levine as the world's worst friend. Lori Griffin as the world's worst person. Mark Arnold as the world's worst eyebrows. Mark Holton as that one guy that has no business being on the basketball team. And Susan Ursitti with the world's worst name, Boof.
The name of that place again, Stefan? Okay, great.
With 9 O's.
Got it, okay.
What was it about the 80s? I actually take that back. She does not have the worst name for a friend. It was definitely Mike Seaver's best friend, Boner. His name was Boner on Growing Pains. They totally knew what they were doing, those perverts. I think he died. The movie was directed by Rod Daniel and written by Jeff Loeb and Matthew Wiseman. Now, here's some fun trivia about Jeff Loeb. He was a comic book writer. I mean, that makes a lot of sense because when you look at Teen Wolf, it's not a horror movie at all. There's very little tie-ins with, the mythical werewolf lore, like that they only come out at night or that they only come out or change in a full moon. That doesn't apply here. It breaks a lot of the werewolf rules, I think, but we'll get into that in just a second. So in 1985, man, Michael J. Fox, he was a little Canadian dynamo. He was the shit. He was everywhere. When this movie first came out, the other movie that he headlined in was Back to the Future. And that had been out for a couple of weeks. Actually, I think a couple of months by the time this came out in the theaters. And this was number 2. Back to the Future was number 1. So our little guy was just running the house. He was like, "This is my house, bitches." No, he didn't say that because he's very nice and Canadian. He's very Canadian. He says sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I mean, everything about it is so freaking 80s. And it's beautiful. And I love it. I love it. It is a berserk concept. It's absurd. But that's the thing about Michael J. Fox. He's such a charming, everyman, guy next door comedian. He has great comedic timing. He's so fucking likable that he carried 2 movies that had really bonkers storylines. In Back to the Future, his mom hits on him, and we just go with it because he makes us think, you know what? Yeah, that could happen. That could happen to me. Ew. So here's some weird information about Yuriampu's brain and the way my brain works. I can't listen to Huey Lewis's The Power of Love, which was the song from Back to the Future. In fact, I can't listen to Huey Lewis at all. Huey Lewis comes on the radio. I immediately think of Michael J. Fox and Back to the Future. I immediately think of Back to the Future 2 when he goes forward to 2016 and meets himself in 2016. And then I immediately think, oh my God, but in real life in 2016, he has Parkinson's disease. And then I immediately think, God, what if I went into the future and I saw myself and I had Parkinson's disease or some other crippling neurological disease? And then I think, well, it may as well happen because we're all going to get old and die. And then I'm thrown into this existential crisis that I just can't get out of. And all of that happens within like 2 seconds. Anyway, I can't listen to Huey Lewis because he reminds me of my own mortality. But you'll love it. You'll love the clothes. It has every 80s trope. And like I said, it's got the terrible best friend that's like eccentric and opportunistic and you just know is going to grow up to be a car salesman. And it's got the girl next door, Boof, who is in love with Scott, but he wants the popular girl. He wants the centerfold. And then it's got the terrible jealous boyfriend bad guy who literally has one line. I don't think he has any other lines than, stay away from her, she's mine.
Stay away from Pamela, she's mine.
And this is how popular this movie was, because Surfing USA was used in a very iconic scene, and it went back into top 40 rotation and actually got MTV play. It was played on MTV. And this movie, God, it's as pure as the cocaine that he was probably snorting in his trailer at the time. Somebody was snorting cocaine when they named her Boo. So Scott Howard is just your normal guy. He's not really a nerd, but he's not the popular guy. He's just normal. He's average. And he doesn't want to be average. He wants something bigger and greater. And he doesn't want the low-hanging fruit of the affections of the girl next door. He has his eyes set on the prettiest girl in school, this little skank, and she is not interested. She is a super bitch. And he's just your average guy. He is the Peter Parker of werewolves, right? He's just kind of like, I'm okay. He's a decent kid too. He works at his dad's hardware store. He and his dad have this amazing relationship. His dad is about the sweetest thing you'll ever see. His dad, like that's the dad you want. Like this dad and the dad from 16 Candles. I always thought, man, those are good dads. Those are like those good dads that you could have heart-to-hearts with, you know. He's on the basketball team, and he sucks because he's a short, white Canadian kid. So he's not the best basketball player, but nobody is. Their team really sucks. Their team is called the Beavers. That's pretty funny. So the Beavers are getting pounded by this other team, and he misses his free throw. He's just not very athletic. He's, he gets rejected by the popular girl. But there's some things going on with Scott Howard. He notices there's a few changes going on with his eyes, and he notices a few changes going on with his chest hair situation. So Scott has this terrible best friend, Stiles, who needs him to go pick up a keg of beer for a party. And Scott's like, I don't want to get in trouble. I'm not gonna, but okay. So I feel like Scott just does whatever this guy Stiles wants him to do. And his name is Stiles, but I don't think he has very good style. Anyway, he ends up getting a keg of beer. He channels this like demon voice.
Give me a keg of beer.
And then he's like, that's weird. So he's like, he wants to talk to somebody about what's going on in his life, but there's really nobody that understands him. The coach is the worst coach in the history of coaches. Anyway, they end up going to this party, and it's your typical 80s party. Kids are drinking, making out. Stiles is playing party games. He's got two people like handcuffed to each other. Watch out, Stiles. And then the fat guy ends up like eating Jell-O out of the one girl. He pours Jell-O down some girl's shirt. That's one of the games. And then the fat guy has to eat the Jell-O out of it. That guy was the villain in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. What was his name? If you remember his name, comment below. That guy looks completely out of place. There's always some guy in any 80s high school movie that looks like he's 40 and like should not be there. This is that guy. And it's not just because he's overweight, it's because he looks 40 and he's got like, he's losing his hair. It's really weird. But he also looks like a giant baby. So, and his name is Chubby. Oh my God. His name is Chubby? First of all, how fucking fat phobic is that? I know I've used the word fat before, but again, that's our word. That's also a name for a boner. Oh my God, was everyone just named after like erections and pussy in the 80s? What the hell? Yeah, this is my best friend Hard On. This is my girlfriend Queef. What next? Period blood fart? Oh yeah, period blood fart. He's bringing a keg. I'm sorry, too far. Too far. Okay, so Scott ends up in the closet with Boof because Boof lies and says that she drew Scott's name. And then Styles puts them in the closet for like the 2 minutes in heaven, 7 minutes in heaven. I don't know. I never played that game. He and Boof start making out. I like her. She knows what she wants and she's going after it. And she's like, well, we're alone now. Why don't you give me some of that sweet, sweet Canadian love? And they start making out. Well, he's getting all hot and heavy. And then the moon.
I must close the drapes.
So it's like the only place where the moon is kind of affecting him, I guess. No, he can't control it, basically. He can't control wolfing out. And so his nails kind of, and so he like scratches the shit out of her back. And she's like, hey, knock it off. I like you, but I'm not into that. And then she smacks him. So, and then she comes out and like her shirt is all tore up. Here's the up thing. You gotta love the 80s. They don't talk about it. Like they see each other the next day. They have plenty of opportunity to discuss what happened in that closet. He just kind of assaulted her and they don't even talk about it. The 80s, it was like kind of fucked up. I mean, that's fucked up. Like they should have at least had a conversation of it. Thanks, Teen Wolf, for creating a shit ton of emotionally avoidant men. I mean, a simple conversation. Just a simple fucking conversation would have sufficed. So Scott's wolfing out. He goes home, goes into the bathroom, goes full wolf in the mirror, and he doesn't. He looks like the Wolfman. It's kind of like a throwback to the Wolfman, you know? But it's not. It's Michael J. Fox as the Wolfman. It's not like a man as a Wolfman. You know? So he kind of just ends up looking like an anthropomorphic Lhasa Apso. And once he's like in full wolf form, he says this epic line.
Jeez Louise.
He doesn't even howl. He wolfs out and doesn't even howl. What? It doesn't really look like it hurts him. Not like the guy in American Werewolf in London. It's hard to compete with an American Werewolf in London. I get it. That was, you know. But, I mean, they didn't even try. And then he gets a knock on the door. And the dad is like, come on, Scott. You got to let me in. And Michael J. Fox is like, I don't know, Dad. I don't think you want to see this. That's not Michael J. Fox. That's not like Don Knotts. I just lost 60% of you, probably 90% of you. I think the majority of you, I lost you way back there, so that's okay. Whoever's sticking around, you're probably going to get that Don Knotts joke because your attention span is probably a lot longer than, anyone younger. Scott's dad on the other side, he finally opens the door, and on the other side is Scott's dad, and he wolfed out too, but he just looks like a cute little husky. He's just like a cute little husky. They both look so cute. They're like the cutest fucking werewolves you'll ever see, and you just want to like put them on your lap and like pet them and like put them in your pocket and like take them for a walk. Like, they're cute. They're just cute little, they're not wolves. They don't have they're not scary. Neither one of them are scary. Even when they growl, it's not scary. That demon voice he used to order the keg was scary, but he's not talking like that. The wolfing out doesn't change his voice at all. He's just talking, Dad, what's going on? I gotta stop doing the Don Knotts impersonation. The dad tries to explain things. Michael J. Fox is like freaking out. And he's like, I don't want to chase bunnies. I don't want to do. And the dad's trying to we basically don't get a lot of the werewolf rules because I don't really think there are any. I don't think that the same rules apply, but they never kind of get into the specifics of it. They don't explain what the limitations are or how to whatever. He's just like, yeah, this is just something in our family. You just have to deal with it. It's not the worst. That's what the dad is like. It's not the worst thing that could happen to you. I think because Jeff Loeb had such fondness for superheroes and superhero characters, he, of course, inserts the Uncle Ben line.
When you want it, you're going to have great power. And with great power goes a greater responsibility.
And so it's a good warning to Scott, hey, this is going to change your life. We're not quite sure how yet, but it's going to change his life, and he's just going to have to deal with it. So he tries not to wolf out at school. He ends up showing his best friend Styles that he can wolf out, and Styles just sees dollar signs, right? He is just he is such a slime ball. And I kind of want to have sex with him. He's just the worst, and nobody is he's not really scared. Your friend is turn into a werewolf in front of you, and he's like, we got to make t-shirts. Okay, so then they play another basketball game, and Scott is getting cornered by all these guys, and then he gets a hold of the ball, and all the guys tackle him to get the ball, and then he growls, and then he emerges as a werewolf. And people call 911, the government comes in, scientists are banging down his doors. No, none of that happens, by the way. None of that happens. Everyone's just cool with it. No, my own werewolf is up. So he wolfs out at the game, and everyone's just kind of stunned into silence. Nobody screams. Nobody rushes out of the thing. They're all just staring at him. And what's the first thing that a short, white Canadian kid is going to do if he gets supernatural wolf-like abilities? He's going to fucking dunk. He is going straight to the net. That's what he does. He goes straight to the net and he dunks the shit out of it. And he's just running up to the net, and he's just, in his mind, he's just flipping everybody off. He's like, F you, tall guy. F you, other tall guy. F you, the only black guy in the movie. F you, fatty. And he just goes to the net and he just dunks the ball. And then he like twirls it. Again, if you haven't seen the movie, if you're too young to have witnessed this movie at any point in your life, you've got to go see the movie. Promise me you'll just go watch it on you. It's free on YouTube. Just you have no reason not to watch the movie. It's hilarious. And then they play the funniest song that I've ever heard. But it's supposed to sound like Werewolves of London, but it's terrible, and it lasts for this song. They play this song, and there's like the popularity montage, right? It shows how he now gets a Letterman jacket. He's real cool. He's doing all the things. He's getting so much attention. He's now like, I mean, the skank wasted no time just skanking it up with him. This song, it's like don't but don't but don't but don't but don't. And a lot of shit happens. He gets cast in the school play opposite of Little Miss Playboy, and he's not good. He's not a good actor either. Oh, and a drama teacher is so weird. There's so much weird shit in this movie that I haven't even touched on.
Which set my bedroom apart.
More sensual, darling. We need to feel you. I want to smell you. Hurt me, hurt me.
And so, yeah, he's living it up. He's jazzing it up. He's winning games. He's taken over the basketball team, and he is winning all the games. And at first, it's great. But then some of the other members of the basketball team, he even steals the ball from his own team. So apparently being a werewolf doesn't just make you good at basketball. It makes you a douchebag too. I mean, he fully knows what he's doing. It's not like he woke up covered in blood and murdered his best friend or anything. This guy knows he's being a douchebag. He knows. It's going straight to his head. He is changing, and he's missing shifts at the hardware store. Then the iconic scene that Styles was the one to originally van surf, I guess you could call it.
These waves are mine.
We'll all be planning out a route.
And now they would play the song, and he'd get on top of the van and like surf. And he's surfing on top of the van, Surfing USA, and that's where that song came back. And then after play practice, the blonde girl gets pretty much naked in front of him. And she's like, hey, let's make out. You're an animal. She wants to make out with the wolf. This isn't the only 80s movie that had a touch of bestiality in it. Remember Howard the Duck? Oh my God, I have to review Howard the Duck. Oh, that's on the list. That's going on the list. Oh, shit. So she wants him to wolf out, and she wants to make out with the wolf. And I would just say, let's put her on a list, to like a no adopt list at local shelters, that she's not allowed to adopt stray rescue dogs. Okay, they end up doing it, I guess that's what that was. Then they go to the bowling alley, and guess who's there? Her boyfriend. And again, he starts shit with the werewolf, and he's like, stay away from her, she's mine. And it's like, you might want to tell her that. She's completely ignoring her boyfriend. it's just bizarre. It's so sociopathic. I don't think people really acted that way in the 80s. Maybe they did. I don't know. Maybe I just don't know enough sociopaths. I might know one. So he bowls really well. It's like everything the werewolf does is really good. And he's not out there helping to save the city or helping old ladies cross the street. He's doing nothing productive with his wolf power. He's just dunking balls and dunking balls. There you go. Okay, so she blows him off. He's like, hey, you want to go to the dance? And she's like, no, I have a boyfriend. And he's like, wait a second, what the hell was that? And she's like, that was a bit of fun, you know. And so he realizes, oh, she's a bad egg. She's a bad egg. You should have stuck with Boof. Because Boof would never do that. And so, you know, big dance is coming up. He ends up asking Boof. And she really doesn't want to go with the wolf. She liked Scott. She liked who he was. She liked that he wasn't really good at anything. And so she's like, no, I don't want to go with the wolf. I want to go with Scott. And he's like, no, my people demand that I go. So then there's this whole scene of him like blow drying his hair and getting ready to go to the dance. And it's stupid. And then he walks into the dance. As soon as he walks into the dance, the music changes and they start playing an epic, stupid song. It's like, you're a big bad wolf. And then they all like start doing wolf dances and it's terrible. It's just awful. But it's good because it's like, this is what we came for. This is the 80s goodness that we just eat it up. We just like inhale it and then just like get high on it with nostalgia, right? This is the pure 80s shit. This is good shit. And so they're all like dancing and Boof with their little 80s dress. And they're all like dancing and him and Boof kind of leave and they go out in the hall and she changes him back. She's like, no, you go back to Scott. And so they come back into the gym and it's just him. And they start dancing. But of course, his very existence bothers Eyebrows McGee. And because his girlfriend, I'm telling you, this bitch is a psycho. She's the kind of woman that'll make a man murder another person. She drives men crazy. And so she's giving them like a look like, she gives him like this side smile. It's like, I'm trying to do it. Hang on. It's like, she just smirks, you know. I'm not wearing my glasses tonight, by the way. I can't see a goddamn thing. He ends up attacking Scott, and Scott wolfs out and ends up like ripping the guy's shirt. The blonde is all like, you're an animal. You're right. It's like, bitch, what'd you think? What did you think he would do? Okay, so he leaves, and on his way out, he runs into the asshole principal. That's another 80s high school trope, is the asshole principal who's just kind of an ass for no reason. Like, he just doesn't like this guy. But we find out that there's a past between the principal and Scott's dad. And so the principal's like, I got you now. I got you now. You were fighting and you wolfed out and you used your powers to hurt somebody. And Scott's dad shows up. Yeah, he does. And he's like, no, you're going to leave my kid alone because he's a good boy. And also, he should have ripped the shit out of that Eyebrows guy. He should have ripped his eyebrows right off. Oh my God, I wonder what he'd look like with no eyebrows. I should Photoshop that. And so then, you know, Scott just kind of feels like shit. And he's like, I don't want to be a bad wolf. Well, first of all, man, you weren't. You were like the lamest wolf ever. He decides to quit the basketball team because he's like, you know what? I don't want to be a wolf on a basketball team anymore. The more I say it, the more ridiculous it gets. But they made it all the way to the playoffs, and now they won't have the wolf. So he shows up at the last minute to the basketball game. And they're in the championship game, right? This is the big game. And so he shows up. He ends up showing up, but as himself. And they're all like, yeah, the wolf is back. And he's like, no, guys, don't need the wolf. We got this far. Yeah, with the wolf. Like, and then suddenly, because of his really good speech, suddenly he becomes better at basketball. Everyone starts playing their asses off. And they are just a stellar team now. Even the fat guy.
Shoot it, fat boy!
Who catches the ball like a baby. He's like under the... He's like, he plays basketball the way I would play basketball, by the way. He like just catches the ball like a baby would. And then he... my ball. It's so stupid. But then this is a really good part because they're playing eyebrows. They're playing the eyebrows guy, his team, and they're all sweaty. God, basketball is such a sweaty sport. It must have been like 1,000 degrees in that gym. And then the song plays. That every sports movie had to have during either the big game or the big fight or a training montage or a sports montage. You gotta have that song, man. The no easy way out. There's no easy way out. Or you're the best around. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. Every 80s sports movie, even now, you gotta have a good power song, you know, the sports montage song. And I have to say, but this song didn't get popular or anything, but I really like it. I really like this song. They're up. Why do I bother? I like the song. It's like, we're gonna win in the end. Whoa. And so comes down to the final moment. Again, it's like the tying in the beginning of, it's that throwback to the beginning of the movie. And he gets a free throw because asshole eyebrows fouled him like 5 times. And now he's out of the game, but he backs up like this. Like, it's so stupid. And so he's like staring at him the whole time. And so Michael J. Fox, first of all, he is so short. He is short enough to like jump into the arms of other men and they just like carry him around like a little purse. He's so tiny. So he makes the shot. I mean, of course he does. He makes the shot, he wins the game as himself. And what a great lesson. It's like, you don't need to be a werewolf in order to win the basketball. I think, you know, it's a really good lesson. It's like, be yourself, even when that's sometimes the hardest thing to do, even if who you are isn't very good at anything. And always choose the girl next door. Always. don't choose the skank who likes puppy play. If she has a jar of peanut butter by her bed, stay away from her. Oh, we just hit a new low. We just hit a new low here at Booze Reviews. So then he gives his dad a hug, and then the blonde girl is all like, well, he's coming to kiss me because I'm blonde. No offense to blondes. I have nothing against blondes. She's very pretty. She is just the worst, though. And he like pushes through her. And it's really a humbling moment for her. And I wish it would have lasted just a little bit longer and just, to really follow through with that rejection and humiliation that she so deserves. And then he pushes past her, and then he goes straight to boof. And his sweaty, nasty self, they kiss, they make out. It's beautiful. You go get you some boof. Yeah, you are. And then it's so cute because it ends with like him and Boof and his dad, and they're like, his dad really likes Boof, and it's just the perfect ending, and everyone's happy, and this very slow song is playing, and just changes overnight. Magically everything you do turns out so well. I don't think the end song quite captures the tone of the celebration. And they win the big game, and I don't know, it's not like he can just stop being a werewolf, but I think he's just not going to exploit his werewolf side for any kind of personal gain. And age gracefully like his father and own a hardware store, and nobody gives a shit. Nobody comes and checks out why this werewolf exists. Nobody wants to like steal hair from him and like do genetic testing on it. Nope. No, werewolves exist in this world, and everyone's just kind of cool with it. And that's, that is what it is. And that's it. Get the basketball. Take the basketball to the net. You're a winner. This is a basketball game.
Shoot it, fat boy!